Hello everyone! It is September 8th and the new NFL season will begin tonight between the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. And as usual, I will be predicting the outcome of the 2022 NFL season. Now, we know how my rules go. I go through the 7 teams in each conference that will in fact make it in. Remember, it's not the old system anymore where we only had 2 wildcard teams. It's 3 wildcard teams now, so that's going to make things a lot interesting. But without further ado, I'm going to start off with the AFC, and my number 1 team will be the Buffalo Bills. Yes, the Bills will be the 1 seed in the AFC. I would normally go with Kansas City, but I'm going to explain why that's going to be a lot trickier than usual this season going around. But yes, I'm going to go with the Bills. The Bills are definitely ready to make another playoff run. That was very disappointing last season in the divisional round. Seeing Josh Allen get bumped out like that by Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, but hey, the karma ended up on Kansas City when the Bengals ended up going to the Super Bowl last year. Did anyone see that coming? No. Did anybody see the Ravens having injury problems? No. But no matter what, Buffalo will be the 1 seed. So I'm going to go with a logical record of 14-3. A lot of people think they're going to end up winning 15 games. I just don't see it happening. They're going to lose at least 3 games at this point. Especially, think about it. If they already have the 1st seed in the AFC, that likely loss will be, what? When they rest Josh Allen for Week 18? You know, that's just my prediction, but yes. Buffalo will be your 1 seed. Now, moving on to the 2 seed, and I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a very, very close division race between the Ravens and the Bengals, of course, and I'll go into Baltimore's situation as we go along here, but how about the Bengals? Did anybody think that they were going to go to the Super Bowl last year? I certainly didn't think that. Nobody thought that last season. So I'm going to go with a logical record of, let's go 12 and, yeah, they'll go 12 wins. So let's give them a record of 12-5, and that's how I think they will get in. Remember, it's an 18-week season, so you got to go with that as a factor. So, 18 weeks, you add that additional game, so 12-5 will be the record for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, moving on to the 3rd seed. As a safe pick, I'm going to go with Kansas City. Now, why am I going with Kansas City as the 3rd seed? As a safe pick, I think it's going to be a very, very close divisional race with the Denver Broncos. And of course, we'll go into Denver's situation as we go along here. But I do think at the moment, you are looking at a situation where at this point, you say to yourself, strength of the conference, 11 wins would be appropriate for this Kansas City Chiefs team this year. So you would give them a record of 12-6 to finish off the season. So yes, Kansas City will be your 3rd seed. I think they'll overcome the Broncos. I think Mahomes will figure out something despite not having Tyreek Hill around anymore. So the reason why the Bengals will win their division is because the same fundamentals of last season is going to carry them on to this season. So, yes, that's how I see 2 and 3 going. Now, this is going to be a very controversial pick. I've been debating it with my friend out in Long Island, and he knocked some sense into me. So the 4th seed and your winner of the AFC South this season will in fact be the Indianapolis Colts. Now, why am I saying that? Well, let's keep in mind that if Matt Ryan can stay healthy, if the offensive line does a good job in Indy this season, I do think, given that Tennessee's not going to have the same fundamentals as years past, I can see the Colts winning the division. I really could. Now, the thing is, that's going to be a closer division than a lot of people think. So let's give the Colts a 10-6 record. Yes. I think that 10-7 record. Yes. So you're looking at a 10-7 record. 11-6. Yes. So 10-7 would be the record that you would have to clinch this division this year. So 10-7. I gave Kansas City 11 wins. I gave Cincy 12 wins. Obviously, I gave Buffalo 13. So, yeah. That's the way it would look. And in terms of how the Colts are going to do on the offensive line this season, again, besides Matt Ryan, and you're looking at the wide receivers, you got Alec Pierce, you got Paris Campbell, so maybe Michael Pittman gets some catches this season, but I don't know. I see Matt Ryan having a very hungry season. And I'm just going to admit it right now. I just think at this point that Jonathan Taylor will be getting a lot of carries this season. And you know what? It should help the Colts. So Indy wins the division. Now, we move on to your wild cards. First wild card, and I have been debating it, I think it will go to the Denver Broncos. They will finish with 11 wins, 6 losses. And I do think that Russell Wilson, in his first season as a Denver Bronco, will win the wild card, the first one. Maybe it ends up being the opposite effect, where the Broncos end up being a better team and we just see Kansas City as a wild card. But these are just predictions that I'm basing it off of. But I'm just going to go with Denver making it in. And then second wild card, I'm going to go with my Baltimore Ravens. I do think Lamar is going to stay healthy. The way things are going in Baltimore right now, you know Coach Harbaugh figures it out. He always does at the end of the day. Last season was just so unfortunate that Huntley couldn't do the job, and you can't rely on Tyler Huntley. You just can't. Lamar runs this offense. So, Ravens will be your second wild card. The running backs are going to be full strength. I know the Ravens just picked up a wide receiver recently, and dealing with Demarcus Robinson, having Devin Duvernay, having Rashad Bateman, keep in mind, you also got Mark Andrews, a very good tight end. You also got Nick Boyle, another good tight end. So the Ravens should definitely be a wild card team. It's just that, again, I don't think they're going to beat the Bengals. Unless something happens, I don't know right now. I can't speculate what will happen against the Bengals, because if you can't beat the Bengals on October 9th, which is that Sunday night game on NBC, then you're not winning the division unless something happens. So, I will mention Baltimore's first 5 games are going to be very interesting. 4 teams, all in the AFC East. Then you got the Bengals on the 9th. So, that will be interesting. And then, your last wild card, with a 9-8 record, will be the Miami Dolphins. Yes, call me crazy, but Tagovailoa will figure something out. Something tells me that last wild card spot could also come down to Tennessee. I don't know, but I think the Dolphins will figure it out. I think they will sneak in. I think the Dolphins will be the last wild card, so let's do a quick recap. 1 will be Buffalo, 2 will be Cincinnati, 3 will be Kansas City, 4 will be Indy, 5 will be Denver, 6 will be Baltimore, and then 7 will be Miami. So I'm keeping Miami on the screen, but I'm just going through a quick rundown. So if you want to maybe write in the comments, put it for the record, that'd be good. So, or I'll just timestamp it in the description. How about that? That way, you can just fast forward ahead. Okay. Next up, let's go to the NFC, and I know I'm going to be controversial for this pick, but my 1 seed will be the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, this was supposed to be a different NFC, where it was going to be wide open. You didn't know who was going to be winning the conference, because we all thought Tom Brady was bye-bye, but Tom Brady is back for another season after fooling us and pulling a Brett Favre. So yes, Tom Brady is back. The only thing for Tampa that does concern me this season is the wide receivers. I mean, yeah, you got your wide receivers. You got Julio. You got Goodwin. You got Evans. Only thing is, I'm concerned about the tight end position because Gronk is not around anymore. Gronk already said that he's done. So, at this point, you still got Fournette at running back, but the receivers are going to get a lot of catches this season. Knowing how Brady is a pass quarterback, listen, I think that Tampa will end up with the 1 seed. So I'm going to go with a record of 14-2. One of the 2 losses might be to the Ravens. I know I'm only speculating, but could come down that way. Maybe 2 or 3 losses, but Tampa will be your 1 seed. So I'm going to go with the record of 14-2. Okay, next up, we're going to go to the 2nd seed. And I've been debating this, but I think the Rams will be the 2nd seed. Now, the defending champs will have a record of 12-6. Now, call me 12-5, yes, because 11-6, 12-5, yes. So 12-5 would be the record. I do think the Rams will have everything going for them. Now, keep this in mind that the so-called experiment where Jared Goff went to Detroit and Matthew Stafford going to LA definitely worked out for LA in the first season. So, at the moment, I think you're looking at a situation where the Rams definitely are back in the playoffs and your 2nd seed and your winner of the NFC West. So now that goes to the 3rd seed. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Now keep this in mind, Aaron Rodgers says that he wants to stay for a while. Now, here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers. He's 38. I mean, does he really want to stay patient and say, am I going to get one more Super Bowl? Am I going to be able to do it? You know, right now, the Packers still have Aaron Rodgers. They still got a lot of their fundamentals in Green Bay. And I just think that maybe the Vikings give him a little bit of a scare this season. I don't see the Bears being competitive. That's a given. I don't see the Lions being competitive. That's a given right there. So Green Bay will be the winner of this division. And I'm going to go with a record. So I gave Tampa 14 wins. I gave LA 12 wins. So, right. So, let's give LA 12 wins. And then what we'll do is we'll give Green Bay 11 wins. So, let's reset this. 12-5 will be the record for the Rams. 11-6 will be the record for the Packers. Okay. Logically, in the NFC East, I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They will win with a record of 10-7. I just don't see Philadelphia being a legit competitor. What? Whoa. Time out, Eagles fans. You really think that you're going to fly to victory with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? No. No. You are in delusion. Alright? I'm keeping faith that Kevontae Turpin is going to be an excellent option for Prescott. You still got Gallup. You still got CeeDee Lamb. And not to mention, you still got Ezekiel Elliott. He's one of the best running backs in the league. So, them Cowboys are going to win the division. It's just that, again, how will Dak Prescott do? See, that will be a good question. I will mention this. And I'm only curious about what will happen in Atlanta with Marcus Mariota. Is he going to be worth the hype down there? I mean, he's supposed to be the future of the franchise. They got to have a plan B when Brady retires. And in the NFC South, I'll just mention, it's going to be fun to keep an eye out on the New Orleans situation. I'll go into why New Orleans will make the playoffs. But that Carolina situation, that's the quarterback situation with Mayfield going to Carolina. That's going to be fun. That's all I'm going to say. So let's move on to my wild cards. First things first, I'm going to pick the 49ers to be the 5th seed. Now, why am I going with San Francisco to end up with the 5th seed? Well, at the moment, they figured out their quarterback situation. They know if Trey Lance ends up being a bust as a starter, they can put Jimmy Garoppolo back as the starting quarterback. They're a very smart team in San Francisco. They'll figure it out. The Niners always do. So, I'm going to pick the 49ers as a wild card just because I see something special happening with San Francisco. And who knows? We'll see a lot of fun in that division. Because you know the Seahawks are going to be under 500. What? Unless Geno Smith or Drew Lock end up being a good option at quarterback? Not really. They're going to be a big mess in Seattle this season. Especially now you don't got Russell Wilson. Okay. So in terms of the numbers, I think that the Niners will end up with 11 wins. They will, in fact, end up getting the first wild card. What will be interesting, the Cardinals. I think they will end up with the same amount of 11 wins. And what will happen is, because they got good wide receivers in Arizona, you got to understand that their wide receiver depth is amazing. I mean, you got A.J. Green and you got Marquise Brown. I mean, look where DeAndre Hopkins ended up. Where did he end up, you may be wondering? He's still a Cardinal. So let's keep that in mind. So you got 3 good receivers in Arizona. Who's to say that Kyler Murray can't take advantage of that this season? So, Arizona will be a wild card. And especially because they know that they're hosting the Super Bowl if they somehow make it. But I don't think that will happen. So, same 11 wins for the Arizona Cardinals. And then, I'm going to go with a controversial win count for the Saints. They will end up winning 10 games. They will be your third and last wild card. You got Jameis Winston. You got and Dalton. So that is interesting. Taysom Hill, who, by the way, he currently is now the tight end for the Saints. So they converted him from a quarterback to a tight end. So that Saints team is going to be a lot of fun to watch this season. And especially in New Orleans. You still got Michael Thomas. You still got Jarvis Landry. And eventually when Tom Brady does retire, I think this is going to be New Orleans' division going down the line in the future. Unless something happens where Marcus Mariota lives up to the hype in Atlanta, unless the Panthers figured out their quarterback situation, the future of that division, hopefully beginning next season, because I'm sick and tired of just talking about Tampa at this point. You know, at this point, it's time to realize that, again, we may be seeing the last of Tom Brady. So, let's quickly go through the NFC again, as New Orleans is still being shown on the screen. So here we go. 1 Tampa, 2 Los Angeles, 3 Green Bay, 4 will be the Cowboys, 5 will be the Niners, 6 will be the Cardinals, and 7 will be the Saints. So, there you have it. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted talking about the start of the season tonight. I'm looking forward to the Bills playing the Rams. Who knows? It might be a Super Bowl preview. You never know. You never know with the NFL these days. So, my Ravens will be opening up against the Jets at MetLife. And sorry, Jet fans, stop being in delusion. You're going to be another under 500 club this year. Same with the Giants. Sorry. Daniel Jones is not your quarterback. Stop saying he is. So, the real team to watch in New York will always be the Bills, because Josh Allen is their leader, and the Bills will just be consistent, and that's what will happen. So, sorry, Pats fans, Mac Jones will be a bust. You wait and see. That's it. Again, your opener tonight, the Bills at the Rams, will be on your local NBC station tonight. And just keep this in mind, there has been a broadcast shuffle this year. So, I discussed that in another video. So I'll card that right now. So with that, enjoy tonight's opener, and let's have another fun season to watch in the NFL.